Hello and welcome to another edition of Stockwatch. As we're into middle of the trading week now, we're hearing more earnings coming apparent, and Pfizer is on the front foot once again as it is boasting more record revenues in its Q3 data. So shares actually jumped yesterday by over 2% on the news, and this is after the company posted a net income of over $8 billion just for the 3 months alone, and 142 a share for the last 3 months. So obviously strong sales of the COVID-19 vaccine are basically what's putting it on the front foot quite significantly ahead of its competitors such as AstraZeneca and Moderna, to name a few. Excuse me. So vaccine revenue rose to 14.6 billion, and this was up from 1.7 billion previously. So more than 75% of the revenues equated for this, as I said, were from the COVID vaccination inoculations, and they are actually still pushing for not only American vaccinated people, but also into other countries as well outside the US. So they're really targeting, let's say, third world countries that really need strong vaccinations that haven't had the same support as developed nations, and this is what they're going to be focusing on as well. So that's their goal, to achieve delivering at least 2 billion doses by the end of 2022 to these particular countries. So this will probably boost revenues even further, so don't expect any slowdown in prices at the moment, but we'll look at these stocks shortly. And another story I just want to touch upon as well: Netflix is entering into the gaming sphere after it's releasing 5 games for it to be downloaded from its application. So this is something that Microsoft tried to do in 2020. It initially launched its Game Pass streaming service, but it didn't really get off the ground too well after Apple did block some of its content. Netflix did say that it was actually having the same issues, which is why it's only started off with 5 standard games, but it looks like it is going into the game subscription market. So once again, very exciting times for Netflix to see if they can actually keep pushing on their already high share price as well. So just a quick look on Pfizer first of all today. As you can see here, I've noted this recent peak that we were hovering around in the last few trading sessions, and so I just put that into a better color. And this particular cluster area here, I was hoping that we were going to have a definitive break, and it is to the upside. So what I'm looking for now is another push to possible recent highs, roughly at the higher end of the $48-49 area, so we can maybe pinch that $50 area once again. $50 handle, where we saw fresh highs not so long ago. So I'm just waiting to see if there's going to be any more of an upside bias. There's not too much in the way of signals on the RSI or any other divergences that I can make out at the moment. So we'll bring it down to a 4-hour chart just to see what the intraday activity is. So as you can see here, what's more interestingly, with the assistance of the Ichimoku cloud, is we've broken through the cloud now, which again is quite significant. And bias is to the upside, but just be careful with all big jumps in the market. There is that risk of a pullback, and we could see prices reverse to the $43 area if it does actually get into that as well. So we'll just see. It can go either way at the moment. We're just going to see if there's going to be a major sell-off, if it was just panic buying at the time. Obviously the earnings season for Pfizer was always going to be buoyant, as the vaccination rollout keeps on going. So we'll see what the opportunities are in the next few trading sessions, especially when the market opens shortly. And Netflix, we touched upon Netflix recently. I just want to show you that it does still have this accentuation. It doesn't look like it's slowing down. If you just pull it back to the beginning of 2020, when we saw this upsurge after the pandemic or during the pandemic due to lockdowns, more people working from home. So this top border is actually quite definitive. If we put it into this kind of category here, it is looking to test this area once again. $700 as well, which will be very significant if it can touch that, which is very likely at the moment, with the buoyancy of the stock in particularly. Obviously the earnings season is quite a big area to start trading, so we won't really get too far ahead of ourselves. We'll see if there is going to be a little bit of a come down, a little bit of a pullback in prices, and we'll see, especially with this bearish divergence that is actually coming into fruition. could come into fruition, in the next few trading sessions. So just be careful for that. That is a very heavy divergence as well. As you can see here, prices are very steep to the upside, trading very far above the Ichimoku cloud as well, and other indicators. So just be very, very cautious at the moment if there is a little bit of a pullback. But if, at the moment, prices are looking very big, so just be aware for other main news coming out of Netflix as well, which is always quite good. And they do have a host of more content coming up and into the holiday season, into the end of 2021. So we'll see if we get a little bit more of a push to the upside. So that's all from the Stock Watch today. As usual, any comments or queries, please add them to the post, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Have a great trading day ahead, and bye for now.